Hey, good morning, everybody. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about something that's really, really important to me, and also even more so to you. And the subject I want to talk about today is about muscle. Okay, and I think a lot of people think about muscle from an ego standpoint. It's like, oh, he just wants to look good or whatever. But I'm not talking about it from that standpoint. I'm talking about it for longevity, for vitality, and quite literally for survival. I don't know, if you see some of the stuff that we do here in Montana, but when you're out in the wild and in the outdoors, a lot of times this stuff literally is a choice between life and death. And of course, a lot of people wouldn't get themselves into those situations, but sometimes other people do. And so we need to be that one. We need to be that person that actually can be the strong one to be able to help other people. But this is it's not just about being fit. It's about being hard to take down. That's what I talk about in my book. This whole concept of creating a reserve capacity, right? When the wheels fall off, when life inevitably, the shit hits the fan, it's going to happen. Are you going to be ready or not? Are you going to be strong, resilient, able to bounce back from that or not? And so why does muscle matter so much? And why am I such a proponent of building muscle? Well, did you know that it's the most metabolically active tissue that you have in the body by far? By far. It burns calories, regulates blood sugar, it stores amino acids, and as importantly, if not more importantly, it's what it keeps your immune system strong. And so you don't just lose strength with age, you actually lose your body's ability to stay healthy. And so essentially, muscle equals mobility. If you want to be able to get around as you get older, you have to have some muscle. You lose it and you lose your independence, which is that if you talk to older people, nursing homes or whatever, even before that, the biggest thing that they're concerned about is losing their independence, right? Not being able to drive, not being able to do the things they want to do when they want to do them, right? And the other thing that most people understand is muscles actually protect your bones. They stimulate. It's the muscle growth and that lifting heavy things, if you will, that actually stimulates the muscles to cause the bone to grow denser, right? If the muscle is stronger and it's contracting harder, that's a signal to the bone to grow stronger, okay? To be more resilient. And so this concept I read about in my book, I call it this muscle-centric wellness. And that's just another way of saying that muscle really is at the center of wellness. It literally drives your overall health. And so if your muscle mass is declining, so is your metabolic health, so is your hormone function, and even your brain power goes down as a result of that. It's not just a byproduct of health, it's actually the driver of good health. And so in my upcoming book, I talk about how literally muscle is medicine. It's true. It's resistance training in and of itself, lifting heavy things. It's as simple as that, is the most powerful tool at your disposal to prevent disease and extend lifespan. And even there's all kinds of research that shows how doing that and lifting heavy things and resistance training is absolutely one of the best things you can do for depression and anxiety, because it gets your blood pumping, it gets your body functioning, it wakes up your whole system. And so what happens if you don't build muscle or even maintain muscle as you get older? Well, there's a problem that happens called sarcopenia, and you probably all heard of that. But sarcopenia is it's expected in most circles that you're going to lose muscle as you age. And some people, it's a lot. Like, it starts in your 30s, but it actually accelerates in your 50s. But here's the key: it doesn't have to. It certainly doesn't have to. And I've actually helped hundreds of men through this, that we can actually build muscle. I don't give a damn how old you are, 60, 70, whatever. We can build muscle. The principles don't change. Your body doesn't change, and your body's reaction to lifting heavy things doesn't change. What changes is that the fact that you keep lifting muscle, or lifting weights, you keep getting stronger, you keep stimulating your body to do the things it needs to do. That's what changes. It's not just because you get older. But the other thing that happens with sarcopenia as you get older is that it slows your metabolism. It makes you more insulin resistant. You start to gain fat. You start to store more fat, which causes fat gain, and you can have a loss of balance and reaction time. That's the other thing that lifting heavy things does, is it stimulates not only your muscles to grow, but it stimulates your neuromuscular system, right? The nerves that tell the muscle to move and contract, it stimulates that system. So those nerves and those neuromuscular connections function better and more efficiently. And that's why a lot of older people trip and fall and that sort of thing, because they lose that neuromuscular connection because they haven't stimulated the muscle to grow. And so you add up the fact that your balance is off and that neuromuscular connection is gone, and then you add the sarcopenia, the weak bones. We've all heard the story, right? The grandma falls and breaks her hip, and then that she's has to lay in bed and be inactive, and then she gets pneumonia because she's laying flat, and it's lights out. So it doesn't have to be that way. But what do you do? How do you preserve muscle after 50? Well, the thing that I talk about all the time that I don't think people understand how important it is to lift heavy things, right? And so you don't have to do a Navy SEAL, go to the gym all the time, although I like to do that kind of stuff. I think that's the most efficient, best way to do that in a balanced manner. But you got to lift heavy things, and focus on the compound movements, the movements like squats and that sort of thing. Even if it's just air squats, right? Just standing there and squatting down like you're going to put your butt into a chair and then standing back up. Just that alone, it like I say, it does so many things. It causes the muscles to grow. It stimulates that neuromuscular system. It increases your mobility, your flexibility, all of those things. So you got to lift heavy things. You got to eat more protein. That we're starting to see it more and more and more. 10 years ago, it was said, "Oh, eat too much protein. It's hard on your kidneys," and all this bullshit. Well, they're starting to see, what's the average? The RDA average is way, way, way less than what we need. And actually, as we get older, it's another fallacy. We actually need more protein, not less protein, as we get older. I advocate, and we measure it in my program, but I advocate a gram of protein per pound of desired body weight, not per pound. If you've got to lose 20, 30 pounds of fat, you don't get a gram of protein per that weight. It's per pound of desired body weight. Okay, that's super important. And people like say 10 years ago said that's woo-woo and that's too much and all that stuff. We're starting to see people starting to figure that out, as well as the scientists. As you get older, you need more protein. And most people, when I start coaching, most of the folks in my program, and they're all like me, over 50 years old and have this successful career and that sort of thing. But some of them, unfortunately, have let their body go in the process of trying to take care of their family and their community. All of those people, when I start looking at what they're eating, they're not getting near enough protein and they're getting way too many carbs. Now, protein's this big buzzword, but you have to understand, a protein bar, right? A protein bar is just a glorified candy bar. These protein drinks that you see in the convenience stores, if you look at all the other ingredients in there, there's a lot of stuff that isn't good for you. I mean, think about it. If you can take that product and set it on a shelf for a year and still drink it, there's probably a lot of preservatives in there that you don't need. So the other thing that's super important is to sleep, sleep like a pro. And there again, we track that in my program because it's so important. You can do all the other things right, but if you're not getting enough sleep and good quality sleep, or you're getting good REM sleep and deep sleep, you can do all the other things right. If you're not getting good enough sleep, you can't heal, you can't grow. The other common problem I see is a lot of people, especially when they retire, every hour is happy hour, right? So you can drink all day long if you want, as far as drinking alcohol. And I would just caution you to be careful. Still go enjoy yourself and have fun, but be careful because it's a really slippery slope. And it's not even just the alcohol, but it's like when people start drinking, a lot of times they lose their inhibition. They're like, screw it, I'll start eating better tomorrow, or I'll go work out tomorrow, or whatever. So I'm not saying never drink alcohol. I'm just saying be really cautious. It's a really slippery slope, because it will crush your testosterone levels, and it just really wreaks havoc with your recovery. If people track their sleep, like with an Oura ring or that sort of thing, which I do, it's shocking how much just a little bit of alcohol can really set you back. So the other thing you can do is just daily walks, right? Again, you don't have to do a Navy SEAL workout, but you should shoot for 10,000 steps a day. That's a lot. But if you do things like park your car at the far end of the parking lot when you're getting groceries, instead of looking for the place right next to the door, or whenever you can, park as far away as you can and walk to where you're going, walk up the stairs, never use elevators or escalators, that sort of thing. It's amazing how many steps you can get in if you track that. And then track your strength and your heart rate variability. We talked in previous conversations about how important heart rate variability is, and track your strength. I mean, when I coach people, we have an app where we actually track your strength. And if your strength is getting higher and you're getting stronger and your muscles are getting bigger, it's unequivocal evidence that that you're doing the right thing. So you have to track that stuff. Okay. There's also this little mindset shift that I think a lot of people have to understand. It's not you're not building a body, right? You're building a fortress. It's like I say, we need to have this reserve capacity for when things do happen, because they will. And if you're weak when they happen, a lot of people, especially as you get older, you just can't recover from that. And we want you to have a body that can protect you, where you can lead your family and withstand these stresses and be resilient in the face of the storm. And it's not about vanity, folks. It's not about ego. It's about leadership. It's about setting the example for your kids and your grandkids, and being the kind of person that you can be. So if you're over 50 and you're you haven't leveled up, and I don't need to tell you, if you could do better, could do more, and you're ready to do things to protect your body and empower your life and live the life that you want to and you deserve, well into your 80s and 90s, then I invite you into the Gene Tough program. This brotherhood we have here is amazing. The community is great, and we don't guess, we don't do gimmicks. We build muscle because it's that important. We focus on mindset and we focus on momentum. And the other thing that I think is super important is we guarantee results. If you join our program and you don't get results, I'll refund any money you ever paid, because I'm that certain that if you do the things that we ask you to do, that you will get the result. And I don't know many people these days that guarantee results from their program. And so I just ask you, if you know you need to level up and you don't take action and the results are guaranteed, I want you to ask yourself, why is it? And when I have conversations with people, it's because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can change. They think they have a poor willpower, or they're not strong enough, or they never follow through with things. And I'm here to tell you that if you have a program and you have a system, it will absolutely help you get there. So and I guarantee the results. So drop the word muscle in the comments if you want to learn more. I can send you a free video about some of the things that we do here. I'd love to help you. If there's other comments, questions you have, shoot me a direct message. I'm here on Facebook and other platforms. Send me a message and I'll be glad to reach out, and we can schedule a call to answer any questions that you might have, because this is my passion, is to help you navigate this time of your life. So thanks for listening today. I appreciate all of you, and take care.